All right, so Low Elo Legends is a series I have where we focus on players who are trying to learn the game. And this is a very difficult game, right? Even with standard settings, it's a very, very difficult game. Mega Random is a fun map for players to spice things up a little bit, only it's spiced up a little too much. And at least as far as I can see, Red hasn't realized there's a second base. That's right, they start with 2 town centers here. So Red's like, dum-da-dum-da-dum, all right, here we go. Mega Random start. No clue. No clue there's a second TC. And okay, finally realizes after a minute, and it's probably like, oh my God. Are you kidding me? Which is pretty much my reaction when this happens as well. So we have Red, who's Silver Surfer, 656 elo over here, trying to manage 2 town centers. And then in the blue, we've got Gangsturk123. I absolutely cannot say Blue's name. Blue's playing as the Mayans versus the Vietnamese. I wonder if Red realized that there were 2 town centers by looking at the minimap. I guess it would be a little easier to see your own TCs if you look at the minimap, but it is interesting because Vietnamese know where the enemy TCs are. All right, so 2 TC start is rough. The goal is to produce out of both those town centers. This completely changes the game from what you're looking to do. I'm going to give you a tip here, okay? If you ever encounter this situation, I'm just going to give you a tip. Don't transfer onto wood like you would normally, right? You want to have like a lot of ills on food for the first couple minutes. So, you know, even this, I don't think is hugely necessary here for Red. Just get those villagers on food. And then you get to a point where if you need to split it up in your mind, because this is very difficult, you could actually have a wood TC and a food TC. So what I mean by that is like this TC is bringing in all the boars. Oh, there's no boars. Okay, I have no advice. But anyways, you know, let's say there's some boars. You focus on the food over here. And then you just set a gather point onto like the wood over here. And then, you know, it's actually much easier in my brain to split up those tasks a little bit. Now, eventually you'll have a little too much wood, but then you can use those villagers to build farms and you can switch it up later. Anyways, complicated. There's no boars on this map. There's big groups of ostrich on either side. We're looking at 8 ostrich here. And so far, Blue has done the slightly better job. Did they also not have scouts? Oh my God. They also don't have scouts to scout the map. By the way, shout out to this lion that's protecting the stone and gold in the middle. This is going to be a big talking point. We're going to name him Scar. Yes, we're going to name him Scar. Because I've been thinking about watching like old classics recently. And so that's where my brain is. So yeah, Red is like kind of doing what I had suggested. But unfortunately for Red, Red can't... Oh, God. Mega Random, what are you doing to these people? He can't find anything. Oh, it's a sad, sad life over here for Silver Surfer. At this elo, it would not surprise me, and I would not blame them to just resign and just go start a new game, honestly. Like, is it really worth the struggle? You're already at 656 elo. Just resign and play a new game, right? I don't know. Okay, so you've got berries here, so Red could make a mill. Looks like Red was also scouting over here as well. So now, this is a good move from Red, who's going to take some of that hunt. Let's look at Blue scouting. So Blue has been really smart. Blue has been using a villager to scout the map. And has used this as the scout. And it has done the same thing here. Might even be doing the same thing here. So yeah, in Blue's situation, I think Blue has excelled so far. But you never know at this elo what's going to happen. Obviously, it would make sense for him to also drop a... is he intentionally pushing in the ostrich? No. But yeah, it makes sense to drop a mill here and a mill here. Just get some wood income and then start dropping mills, basically. Oh, man. All right. Well, crazy game. I hope everyone's having a nice day out there. If this does end up hitting YouTube later on. There's been... Well, not even just, you know, video form. There's been a lot of Titans League casting recently, and I haven't been able to get into that low elo state of mind. So I'm excited to be back with some low elo casting today. The other thing about 2 town center starts is it's normally a really good start to just wall up and try and go for fast castle. You're just going to have so many villagers, right? Like, if you keep these TCs producing all the time, you're going to have 30, 40 some villagers. Losing 2 or 3 doesn't hurt as much. Racing and Castle Age can feel really strong. But who knows what these guys are going to do. I mean, I don't know how many games they played, but I imagine that they probably have played less than 5 2TC starts. Because you can't choose to do this in ranked. Mega Random just gives it to you on occasion. I personally wish that this would happen less frequently, but the Fatoria starts would happen more frequently. What do you guys think about that? I've only had a Fatoria start 2 times, excuse me. And the first time I got my Fatoria converted, there is a video about that. If you have not seen that, spoilers obviously on what happens. It was a really cool game. There's also a song about it too. Anyways, check it out. One of the more unique games you'll ever see. From what I've heard, and I don't know where these people got the stats, there's like a 0.05% chance for that to happen on Mega Random. Actually, I don't even know if I'm remembering the right number. I don't know what the odds are to get 2 TCs, but I've encountered this more. I would like to applaud these two because these guys are killing it. Imagine the stress and the surprise of this whole thing. These guys are doing an amazing job. Blue, I think, is showing me more signs of success. Producing more vills, but also the walling aspect. Just good methodical moves here. I will say Blue isn't taking any of the hunt, which is rather concerning. Red has been doing that. And Red doing that on just this side has given Red the Feudal Age resources. Mega Random is so fun when it's not just a slightly different Arabia. Yeah, I like Mega Random. I have a love-hate relationship with Mega Random, only because back in my day, I'm one of those cranky old men, the generations were so much crazier. They balanced them a lot now, so you know you don't get completely screwed by the map gen. Hey, by the way, Blue Villager, just still scouting, I guess, and is going to walk right underneath Red's TC. And no Loom, Red Garrisons. This guy is just going to get away, just barely, but should be able to get away here on 5 HP. Blue will probably be like, oh, okay, that's where the enemy TC is. Red, meanwhile, on the way to Feudal. Now, let's see. Is Red producing vills here? No. Classic mistake. Red, don't feel bad if you rewatch this. This is... I knew I was going to see this. You see how Red queued up vills behind the Feudal, but kind of forgot that you can produce out of this TC at the same time? Happens to the best of us, buddy. Happens to the best of us. And here, this Villager is just going to be in the very north of the map. If I know Blue, Blue probably is just going to keep scouting with it. But now Red is going to try and find that Villager. And the Villager's very hidden. I mean, the Villager's almost as far into the corner as you could go here. Okay, and now Blue. I bet you Blue just clicked him to the other corner. Okay, who does the Lion attack? Oh, just passing moment? Oh. Just passing? Okay. I think the militia stopped and has now noticed that the Villager's here. This is going to be ended. What? What did Red see? Or what did Red not see? Okay, I'm very confused. Just passing. Weak Villager's just going to mine stone there. Cool. All right. And Red didn't notice it and is now going to head somewhere else. Meanwhile, we have a couple houses here for Red. We've got an archer range for Red. Red is really far behind in Villagers now. But Red could be in Castle Age first. Really good eco balance. Blue isn't even on the way to Feudal yet, and Blue's making militia from both sides. So we have 3 militia on the left side to protect this base. And then we're going to have 3 militia on the right side. I mean, it's perfect. You need 2 TCs. You need 3 militia. Perfectly balanced. Again, I maintain the big thing for Blue here is just if a mill would have been placed on the ostrich, I think Blue's in a better spot. There's a lot of villagers on wood. There's 1,200 wood in the bank. Yes, that could be farms later on. And it looks like Blue's thinking about that. But just, you know, something to consider. Still really liking Red's potential here. Especially going archers. Archers with the Vietnamese, obviously great. But if the opponent has militia, it could be great as well. I'm still not seeing Red click up to the next stage. But Red's got a lot on stone, so Red will want a castle. And I would love to see a castle. Look at Blue, though. Blue's like, I have wood. I need food. Okay, great. Perfect. I'm going to drop those farms, just like T90 said. Smooth as can be. And I will tell you this, man. Once Blue clicks up to Castle Age, or sorry, I guess Feudal Age, Blue's resources are going to fly. The economy is going to be wild here. But, you know, both players lacking some experience. There's Scar. Scar's going to attack the militia. And militia's on the move. Scar probably is going to end up getting the kill here. We can't have this movie end just yet, you know. Scar's got to be around for a while here. But yeah, okay, militia just scouting here, which is what the reason Red probably made it. As a peaceful man, he doesn't want to attack this villager over here. He decided to let that villager be. Oh, there's 2 lions soon. They're going to fight for the kill. Oh, I think so anyways. The lions will not fight each other, unfortunately. So, I'm not really sure what to do with the plot now. But okay, they're going to fight for the kill. It's like whoever gets the kill gets the pride. And Militia now fights back just to save his own life. But it's too late for you, buddy. You dead. Let's see how aggressive Red's going to be here. Because Red hasn't seen a lot, right? Red does know where the enemy town centers are. Also, Blue finally clicks up to Feudal Age. And 3 militia on both sides. Walls on both sides. The long term for Blue should be pretty good. Should also have enough stone for a castle when Blue makes it to Castle Age. It's just what a difference. Silver Surfer. Up to the Castle Age already. 19 minutes. Are you kidding me? Very impressive job. Now, where are the archers going? Don't tell me the archers are going the opposite direction from the enemy base. Have the archers noticed this? I think that's probably why Red is coming this direction. That would make sense. You would hope that he's not going to do what the militia did earlier and just walk past this guy. Okay. Crossbows are there. Villagers now dead. Now, I'd say that's actually worth it. You have pulled the crossbows away from your other people. And, you know, you collected 100 stone there. It's not too bad. Also, Blue, you gotta settle down with the villager production here. I mean, 11 vills in queue right now. If you could cancel some of those and make some buildings, you could be on the way to Castle Age, too. Blue needs to defend from this. Crossbowmen being out is such a worrisome thing right now. And let's see if Blue can settle down with the Vill production. I mean, Vill production's good in 2 TCs. But Castle Age also pretty great, as we see a couple barracks here from Blue. Yeah, so Blue's maybe thinking, okay, there's archers. I should maybe make some Eagle Warriors here. 14 villagers in queue. So clearly this player uses the select all TC, create villager hotkeys. Red's been a little more relaxed with it. And speaking of relaxed, Red still has all that stone and isn't dropping a castle. So I wonder if Red is waiting to take a good fight for dropping a castle. There is a hole here. Blue has been pretty thorough with the walls. Red didn't see that. Maybe Red does see it. Okay, Red's just going to attack the wall. So Red doesn't see. He could actually run through there. Blue, a good reaction here would be to sacrifice your militia. Sorry, militia, but probably good for you guys to die. And then maybe drop some towers here. One thing Blue is not stopping is producing villagers throughout this. And it's just going to make more eagles. It'll be just regular plain old eagles. And Blue also doesn't have loom. Oh, no. Blue doesn't have loom. Well, loom is a really good thing to get at the start when you can't create villagers out of both town centers. So that's something that Blue could have gotten to the habit of. Isn't this amazing at low elo, though? Like, Blue is a macro god. But Red's a bit more of an aggressive player here. And it's working out for Red, but it could always work out for Blue, and you never really know. I read your comments. A lot of people say they prefer low elo because anything can happen. And you can't look at this situation and say, oh, okay, well, this player's going to win. Let's just tune out from the rest of this game. And again, as I say this every week, I'm very impressed with what the players are doing here, right? Like, we're sub 700 elo. That feels low compared to some of the other elos you could talk about, but I think they're playing very good Age of Empires 2 here. Speaking of 2, you've got 2 villagers coming forward to drop a castle. Let's see if Blue panics here, as we've got Thumb Ring behind Bodkin Arrow and some armor as well. These are also Vietnamese crossbows, so there's more HP on them. We know what the big issue for Blue is, right? The big issue is just not going up to Castle Age. Continuing to produce villagers. One of these TCs could be on the way to Castle Age. Blue absolutely cannot fight off that army with Feudal Age Eagles. Well, unless there was more of them. But it does take 60 seconds to produce one single Eagle in Feudal. The production really ramps up with that type of unit in Castle Age. Okay. Red coming forward with more vills. Okay, so Red wants to make sure the castle completes. Did the math and realized that just 2 was a little light on the production there. There could be multiple castles from Red, by the way. Blue. Oh, God, he's clicked up to Castle Age, but it's behind 2 villagers. Blue, I love you. I love the fact you might even counterattack here. It's going to be really funny. But if you could just cancel those 2 vills for me, it would make me so happy. Happy for you. That's the most important thing. Happy for you. Can you please just cancel them? Nah, life's too stressful right now. So, okay. Oh, wait a second. Wait a second. The Eagles want to deny the castle. That ain't going to happen here. No, too late. Too late. Painful for the Eagles. And Blue is now like, well, I might as well fight because I'm here. And says, oh, no, that's really bad. And says, oh, God, this is really bad, too. But this is all part of Blue's plan because now Blue isn't population capped anymore. And now those villagers can be created. And then Blue could be on the way to Castle Age. So don't doubt. What do we call him? Gangster? My first instinct was to say his name is Gangster, but I don't think his name is Gangster. We're going to call him a gangster anyways. Pretty gangster economy over here from Blue. Who will have 1,500 stone. Well, I mean, not even when he makes it to Castle Age. He's going to have more than that. So we could see a triple castle. We've got rats and archers now from Red. Red's making a defensive castle. Blue is going out for a counterattack, and I think Red might have sensed it. I mean, I'm not sure if Red actually saw anything, but it just works out that Red has army here now. Rats and archers are a really good unit. The thing about Ratsons is that they do pretty well against normal units, like normal melee units, but then they have tons of pierce armor, which makes them good against other archers. You can tell Blue's trying to be sneaky here and just wall up some of this. If Red were to actually run in, Blue would have problems. But Blue's got time to maybe panic down a castle here. Also, the Eagles are over here. It's 78 villagers versus 57, guys. It's a pretty close game. Thanks again for watching and hanging out as we have Rams now on the houses. That's Blue's worst enemy, population space. What can Red see? It's Little Gangster in Dutch? Oh, okay, cool. So I'm good with calling him Gangster then. Okay, so Blue wants to wall. You could tell Blue doesn't really know what to do against this castle pressure. And it's one of the most difficult things to deal with in Age of Empires 2. So I wouldn't expect Blue to understand that. But I'll tell you what you do. You drop a castle here. Now, did he delete those farms? No, they just finished. Drop a castle in front of your base just to protect it is the way to do this here. Now, over on this side, Red doesn't realize the Eagles from Blue, who now get 7 base attack in Castle Age, are attacking. Red actually does react there, but that's a nice little eco raid there from Blue, who needed something. And is now going to drop a castle on the other side here. And the fact that Blue continues to produce villagers all the time without fail is something that could save him here. 15 villagers in the queue. Could go imp soon, guys. Obviously, could maybe spend the resources on some other things, too. We've got elephants, mangonels, rams, so many different things here from our Red player. And there are ecos. Very different, but the positions also very different. Red has had so much aggression in this game. 30 kills now. It is interesting, too. I think this castle is being shot by Red's castle. And then you've also got the rams. Blue's castle could go down really fast. There's a lot of units in this castle, so they're firing extra arrows. So people always tell me that aggression always wins at low elo. And I always say it depends. Because truly it does. Maybe does this gangster guy know about imp? Does he know about murder holes, possibly? I could see that being helpful. No university. As we have Eagles showing up into Red's eco again. And Blue's not hesitating to get these counterattacks in. And I think it's going to stretch Red thin a little bit. Red's got all the forward pressure, but doesn't have castles at home everywhere to defend. This is, though, a big problem for Blue, who I think is trying to take out the ram, but doesn't really have an answer to it. And another castle now from Red. I like how red has got relevant upgrades in this game, like the ballistics upgrade, Bod Canero. All these upgrades are very helpful for the castles and the archers. However, as red's getting all these helpful techs, those techs are being researched on the other side. Red. Buddy. Okay. This gets very interesting now. Red has completely forgotten about that side. Blue is trying to repair here. Now, here's a little tip if this ever happens to you, if you're ever in Blue's position. You can add a mangonel behind your castle, and it will hit the rams and keep your castle up. Oh my god. Blue's going imp on the left side town center. You've got to be kidding me, man. Red seems to have noticed this, by the way, but doesn't have a lot to protect. Okay, so Blue's going to make it to imp. I'm trying to think about how this goes. Blue will make it to imp. But Blue will lose a lot of control over here. How many villagers are actually over here? So we've got 44. I mean, that's as many villagers as Red has in general. Red's also going to town center the middle area. I kind of like that move. Plumed archers, generally speaking, pretty strong. They are weaker against Rattans in the long run, especially because there's all these upgrades for Red. So, I mean, upgrades are going to matter so much. But if Blue can hold on for a bit, and maybe even, like, castle drop here and take this area of Red's base, it could be really interesting. Look at that gangster micro there from Blue with those not Rattans, sorry, those plumed archers. Okay, guys, which hat do you prefer? Do you prefer the plumed archer hat or the Rattan archer hat? If you had to choose one to wear in public amongst a bunch of strangers, which one would you choose? I'm really torn. I think they're both awesome. I feel like the Rattan archer hats are more practical. If it's a sunny day, you know, this would definitely attract more attention. So, you know, maybe you guys don't want to attract more attention. I don't know. But the plumes look freaking cool, man. And the way the plumes bounce, they look so nimble when they run. Rattan archers wreck here, though. And it's just because of blacksmith upgrades, right? Well, not just because of that, but that's a big part of this. Blue makes it to imp, though, which is crazy. Also, that tech, that's the skirmisher tech. And we see Onager now for gangster. Onager's a good choice. Is he actually making some? Unfortunately, Blue is making the mangonel in the siege workshop that is researching. So we don't actually have units on the way yet. This is a crazy game. I mean, this is still very winnable for Blue if Blue gets a couple onagers out. Red doesn't have food eco, so Red's never going to make it to the Imperial Age. But Blue, I don't know if we're going to see any imp techs besides onager. Blue has an eco lead. Onager could be considered a bit of a counter. And, oh, okay, Red comes over here with crossbows. Red will clear this, guys. Blue's units, there's no fletching, right? They're just so outranged. And remember, thumb ring, ballistics, armor, attack, all that stuff is in here for Red. So Red's going to clear that. Good job from Red. As Red's just clearing out some houses here for Blue. That's a legitimate strategy. Blue is very worried about this push. Blue doesn't have faith that this push can be stopped yet. And Blue is population capped, which we know is a problem with Blue. Because Blue's always trying to produce. But, I mean, I like how Gangster hasn't forgotten about this left side. Isn't really raiding. But, I mean, Red's economy's still not very good this game. Still waiting for more onagers out of Blue. This is a great game. This is an amazing game. I mean, you've got completely different strategies. Red with the faster castle age, but not producing as many vills. Red with the aggression and the upgrades. Blue upping to imp, and then going for counter units like siege is so cool. Now, this should be the time in most cases where Red is trying to add more farms or, like, get up to imp, right? So let's see if Red's paying attention to this. Boom! Get flattened with your cute little hats. Hurrah! Yeah, rocks to the face. Hats don't help against that. Yeah. It is crazy, though, how little damage these plumed archers are doing to the Rattans. Rattan archers are a crazy unit. But also blacksmith upgrades always, you know, very helpful. Okay, here come the Rams. The Rams might actually take out the onagers. A very good chance, just because of... Well, it depends on if Blue micros. Blue is microing, though. Nice job, Blue. falls back behind the gate. And now the Rams have no chance of taking out that Onager. And now I think red is like, had this oh crap moment. Like, I've killed so much. What do I do now? And red just uses the mangonel. It's like, who needs the bigger wooden sticks on this thing? It still does the job. Elite Eagle Warrior. Another thing that's pretty good against archer units. Another thing that's especially good at raiding. But if red could get more castles in the base, red could be okay, I think. Because blue's still not getting the blacksmith upgrades. Also, these farmers. They just... Are you kidding me? Blue is going to actually go farm with these villagers now. Are they not traumatized? These guys are beasts. They just took out the siege. I think they're going to go work on those farms soon. Red, realizing the situation, says, maybe I need a forward town center. As we see... Holy crap! Yo, Matt, I appreciate you. Says, thanks for all the great content over the years, and thanks for everything you do for the AoE2 community. Your variety of... Oh, God, it's off screen. Your variety of content keeps it fresh, though Lowy the Legends has always been my favorite. Hey, thank you for the dono. I don't deserve you guys. I hope you all know that. Don't deserve people like Matt either. Thank you, thank you, thank you. You're welcome. People say thank you, but ultimately... Imagine how boring my life would be if I wasn't doing this on a Tuesday right now. Like, this is awesome. This game is incredible. And red is going to do what I wanted to see in this game. Defensive castles now. Defensive castles. So, tons of army. Like, the rats and archers will completely... I still think obliterate everything that blue's making. Because blue doesn't have certain upgrades. Well, except for the onagers, obviously. And... You know, it looks like blue's going to slowly push this direction. This is giving red time to add more economy. Blue is just an economic god, though. We're always expanding farms everywhere I look. Look, more farms. And I can't wait to check the food collected. It's funny how things tend to even out at low elo. The player who has all these this military and all this upgrade knowledge is struggling with the economy, and then the player who has the great economy is struggling with the military and the upgrade knowledge, right? I think both players are very equally skilled, though. I want to check food resources now. Yeah, I mean, all of it, blue's ahead. And blue's going to drop more barracks as well. Will red ever make it to the Imperial Age is my question. Red would need to seed a lot more farms right now. You could probably justify using the market here. Oh, man. Oh, that's a lot of rats and archers. Oh, sheesh. Okay, so let me check the stats on the Eagles. They have 5 Pierce Armor right now. The Ratsens do 8 attack. Doing 3 attack a hit's pretty good. Not gonna lie. Especially when you attack fast and don't miss your shots. If additional armor upgrades come in for blue, it becomes a different story. Especially upgrades like El Dorado. Because remember, blue researched the Castle Age unique tech, which affects skirmishers. So we'll know the unique techs are important. Blue's army count is also shooting up. This is the importance of that castle, though, right? Crossbows are just kind of blocking this off right now. I think with ballistics, these eagles will eventually die. But it depends on how far blue goes. If blue can get into the back, you never know. And red's on the way to the Imperial Age from that town center. And blue's going to get a few units back there. Blue, meanwhile, is actually trebbing the right side of red's base down. So I guess it's good that red chose the left side to go for the Imperial Age. Would have been kind of baller to go for Imp in this TC, in the forward TC. Nice raid there from red. The Eagles did end up dying here, if you're wondering. Let's see how these crossbows do. I think the crossbows might actually die this time, just because there will be elite Eagles. And armor upgrades become so important here, guys. But also production matters too, and we'll see if blue can maybe get that going. The plumed archers, they haven't been tasked to attack the house, but they've just been sat there, and they just can't see those crossbows. And now they're starting to come into the thick of things, but red's army's still getting some good value. But blue, moving to the middle now, with 1 villager, you have 90 villagers. Blue is such a crazy player. Oh, God. Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, no. Okay. All right. Well, this is certainly getting eventful. Red is losing the right side of his base. Well, not really. Kind of is. Well, I don't know. He's going to take out the trebs. Blue may eventually complete this castle. I'm not sure. But you can see that the rats and archers are dominating here. And oh no, blue is falling apart. Blue is falling apart. Blue needs to complete this castle at the very least. I think blue can do it because blue is tossing away eagles to give time for the villagers to complete it. Is loom in? No loom! You're right, no loom, as we see a elite plumed archer for blue. But that's a good sign. Maybe blue's looking at the other text inside the castle. Red now makes it to imp. Red has all those forward castles, remember. Now, Red's rats and archers are already doing a pretty good job. That said, if this completes, Red's going to lose access to some stone and gold. This is a crazy game. And blue's just going to drop more barracks. At this point, poor gangster's probably thinking, man, rats and archers are OP. And I'll be honest with you. It's a really, really tough unit to stop. Like, it's definitely the late game go-to unit for the Vietnamese. Shout out to the elephants, too. They can be really strong, and I think they're underrated. But they're expensive. Red's got the micro. Blue's got the macro, indeed. Yeah, this castle will complete here for blue. Like, are the eagles good enough in numbers to clear up the rats and archers, though? It feels like they are. It's not horrible. We also haven't seen any imp upgrades. We see Chatras right now for red. That adds extra HP to any elephants that are made. And that means these bad boys are going to go up to 350 HP, I think. I think that adds plus 100. Want to know what red will do with this position. Oh, red's going to go for rams. If blue uses the onager, this will not work. Or the eagles. Yeah, so the rams will not work there. And man, this is stressful. This is a crazy game. Look, red's like, I can't let that castle go up. But the castle's already up. Blue hasn't seen this. Now blue sees it. Rats and archers killed so many villagers this game. The KD is just crazy from red. Who went for the archer range upgrades, the blacksmith upgrades, and the unit upgrades as well. Actually, we haven't seen elite rats and archer yet. Oh god, where did the eagles go? I thought that... Okay, well, this castle goes down for blue. I really thought that he was sending eagles there. But castle also goes, or TC goes down in the middle for red. Who's winning this game right now? I have no clue. This is crazy. And now we have the onager rocking the crossbows on this side. What? Holy crap, man. This is... I mean, again, credit to these two as we see pikemen being researched by blue. But big credit to these two because they were really thrown in here in a setting that they're probably not used to. And they have made it look not easy, but they've made it look easier than I'd expected of this elo. This is a grind. This is a messy game. It's a treat and a half. As both players need to stabilize in different ways. You know, blue saw the elephants here, which is why he's going for the pikemen. I think I still prefer red's position because red has so many castles on the map. And blue has not really shown me a lot that shows that he can deal with castles. But I prefer blue's position as far as the resources. I can't use a blacksmith hotkey when I'm casting. That actually flips the side of the stats. But, okay, there is a blacksmith here for blue. I was wondering about that. Also, there's going to be halbs coming out soon, which should save the castle. Oh, no! And we've got eagles here, which could deny red's castle. Red's got so many villagers building this, though. Oh, man. You could tell what red did. Red was like, oh, my God, I'm going to lose the vill, and sent the vill towards the castle. And brought it to all his friends. Castle completes, though, guys. As more villagers are there. Blue sees that. Blue says, how do you like it? Yeah, how do you like it? I'm going to kill your villagers. And now runs away with these eagles. 31 eagles. Red's got rats and archers. It's just the majority of the rats and archers are still with these forward castles here. Blue can definitely take out those elephants. I don't care how much HP they have. And now red loses a treb there. I think red is kind of falling apart. The comeback is officially on if it wasn't on before. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 castles for red. Blue's got 2? 3. And I guess would be 4 if villagers were to come over this way. And blue will clean up these elephants now with the halberdier. Nice little bonus damage plus some help from the castle. Still wondering if blue will remember about blacksmith upgrades. Red has plenty of gold available, right? There's gold here. There's gold here. There's gold here. And there's gold here. It's just, can red get around to doing it? Looks to me like blue's going to tread push this castle. And I don't know if red can actually stop that at the moment. This does show the importance, guys, of continuing to produce villagers when you lose them. Right? Like, that KD for red is obnoxious. He's killed 50 more vills. He's killed 140 or so more army. But blue, throughout all the struggles, just kept producing villagers, for better or for worse. And man, oh man, has that helped out here. Also, great awareness from blue. Trying to get raids in constantly and killing more villagers from the enemy. All right, I would really like to see this castle completed. I mean, that would make me a very happy camper here, blue. But that's an idea that's been saved for later, apparently. 130 population for the player who is like 5-10 minutes later to Castle Age. Loses the onager to the castle, but it probably just clicked in all the siege against it and might not care too much if this castle gets rammed and trebbed down. Yeah, that castle's a goner, guys. That castle is absolutely a goner. I think the elephants are going to help. However, the treb still needs to be dealt with, and I don't think there's anything to deal with that treb. In a game like this, I always could be wrong, however, as red still has some army over here. But red and blue, I'm sure, both focused on this area. Credit to red, too. Like, red's also still producing villagers all the time. Just red has not done that as consistently throughout this game, as the idle TC count shows. This game is at a point where if blue were to research more blacksmith upgrades, I would consider it over. Near over, let's say that. But this army, like, if it fights, will possibly lose. They're not elite rat hens, but they're just so good. Oh, boy. Okay, well, some people go for no attack stance on their units so they don't run in and do stuff they don't want them to. And that's what blue had done. And now, finally, the units attack. These rats and archers, though, I think they'll win the fight, which is crazy to me. The Eagle's just not enough pierce armor. Plumed archers not doing enough damage. Plumes are doing 1 damage a hit, I believe. The plumes have 5 attack. The Rattans have 8 pierce armor. Yeah, so they're doing 1 damage a hit. Everything that's coming in here is still going to do 1 damage a hit. And the halberdiers, they're designed more so for elephants. Red swinging back towards red. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me, man? Elite Rats and Archer is 10 pierce armor, by the way. And they do 1 more damage and have a little bit more HP. So, thankfully for blue, it's not elite yet from his opponent. But, I mean, red's getting there. Red's banking the resources and only is making Rats and Archers. However, the thing red hasn't been able to deal with has been the onagers. So, blue relies more on onagers. We're going to have big flattening shots like that. Okay, elephants coming in for the treb. Sneaky move. Oh, it might actually be for the onager first, but I think red sees the treb now and is like, oh, that's nice too. Uh-oh. Okay. That's one way to deal with them. Okay, a lot of rats, hens, and skirms will die because of that choice. Blue's gonna finish this castle. Blue had a treb here, which red stopped now with the rats and archers. Ah! Oh my goodness, man. But skirms will actually be killed off quite easily by the eagles. Blue, Eldorado in one of your castles, and armor and attack on that blacksmith. Blacksmith upgrade's so important in this game. Also, halbs, I think blue might be making them because they don't cost gold. But there's not enough elephants where I'd love that. And uh-oh, alert, alert. Elite rats and archer coming in from red. That doesn't make things any easier for blue. But I should say there's only 11 rats hens now. And anytime they show up here, they'll be flats and archers because of the onagers. Haha. Dang. This is insane. You know, if my voice goes that high, that it's an insane game. Like there's the rating scale in terms of entertainment for any game can be strictly based on how high my voice gets in a cast. And now blue's gonna go forward and like pressure a bit, not give red time to react. And oh, El Dorado. Okay, so that helps a lot. So now the Eagles go from 60 to 100 HP. Ooh, Imperial Skirmisher. I always forget how cool that icon looks. I'm not sure Imp Skirm is the most helpful upgrade here. If you're making a unit, you do want the strongest version of it. I still think it's going to be those Ratans. Now, thankfully for Red, the castles are still there. It looks like Red's Bombard Cannon can slowly push this area, possibly. But Blue making a TC in the middle. Blue's making way more vills again. Uh-oh, but now Red's going to push the middle! And if Blue doesn't have onagers here right now, I think Blue will lose the middle. But Blue's pushing Red's base! This is insane! So Red's going to lose this area, but Red could kill Blue's area here. Meanwhile, we have supplies, and then we have Man-at-Arms. So Red's thinking, I need an answer to Eagles, and is thinking Champion Line. It's not actually a bad thought. It's not a bad thought. Because, like, if Blue were to be getting armor, the Eagles would be doing so much better than they currently are. So you do need to prep to assume that your opponent's going to do that. The economy's not really there for Red, which is an issue. But again, as Red pushes the middle, and we'll see if Blue can actually stop it, Blue is going to push Red's base. And Eco is king here, guys. And Blue has that Eco as he kills the Eco here as well. He's able to take out one of the Trebs, not both. We have 111 Eco right now for Blue. 64 army, ahead in both categories for the possibly the first time in the game. The first time in a long while, and is prepping more production buildings here too. This is so good. Red has to push the middle now. But, you guys, I'm just not seeing it from Red. Like, Red doesn't have gold. These villagers need to get on gold fast. Red's not really making much of a push here either, as the Bombard Cannon's just going to take all day taking out the walls. 180 villagers now. Or, sorry, 80 pop, I should have said, for Gangster, who's been behind in score until this very moment. And even that could change, obviously. I think the score could flip back towards Red, because Red's going to get some decent kills here. Yeah, like, Blue's making Oninger now. And even if the castle goes down, I think Blue could at least push this back. And the Red's just got nothing elsewhere. And oh my goodness, Blue finds the corner. This is game over. Gangster's going to get Silver Surfer here. Look how many villagers are there. That's like most of Red's economy. I want to say about 80% of it. Castles do go down, but so do the Trebs for Red, as Red's probably reacting to that, looking around like, what? What? Probably staring in disbelief at the screen. And yeah, the Rats and Archers have to go home to save this. But what does that mean? That allows Blue to push forward in the middle now. And Red has kind of awoken Blue in the middle. They reminded him that this exists. Who needs blacksmith upgrades? Seriously. It is funny, though, because, like, the next time Blue's in this situation, we might not see Blue get the same upgrades. Because Blue will win this game. And then Blue's going to say, well, who needs upgrades? Upgrades aren't important, right? El Dorado absolutely helps. But I can't help but feel like it was also the production for Blue, who was always floating resources, but never had a situation like this where the unit queue is insane. Red clears all that. But now what? Now is losing on the other side. And I'm sure Red is now realizing that this is probably the end. What a crazy game, though. Truthfully, a back-and-forth game. Could have gone either way. I think, you know, for Red, I think the aggression just needed to be more consistent. Because if you are in a lower economic state, you need to always be pressuring the other opponent. And there was a lot of pressure, but I never really saw a Treb push, you know. Never really saw, like, this area matter much in Imp, where I think it could have. But, I mean, look at Blue's post-Imp play, guys. 7 barracks here, 10 barracks over on this side. I probably missed some. Like, Blue really went crazy with the production. And that's impressive. And also, blacksmith upgrades. There we go. Yeah, I mean, if there was any chance for Red, it would have been because of the lacking of blacksmith upgrades for Blue. But it is low elo. Players, they'll play on a bit, right? Red played a pretty long game here. Might be a little frustrated. Might have got a text message from his brother saying, hey, you're in a T90 video, so bring this back. It'd be the best comeback in YouTube history. You know, a couple things could be going through Red's mind. I'm not sure. But I can tell you one thing. Red has to deal with this on the left. And here come those Rats and Archers now. So now the Eagles have 6 Pierce armor. That's better. You would want the final armor upgrade as well. The Plumed Archer armor barely helps. Feels like Blue's respecting these things a whole lot and is going to rely more so on the onagers. But yeah, Blue also scaring Red away, and Red just microing, hoping for the best. Microing. Big onager shot. We'll clear out a couple rats and archers, and that's going to be the end of that army for Red. If there's ever a time to call GG, this would maybe be it. But Red says, no! We will spend all of our resources. Mom said one more game. I need to spend it all. I don't want to do my chores. Yeah, we can't kill him. Let's take out the mining camp. Bruh, get the blue off my screen. We hate them. Bruh. All right. All right, Red, I respect it. Castle's going to go down. Siege ram in for blue. That's always a good tech, too. It is interesting, though, when you have a lead, how easy it is to remember technologies. Right? Notice how Red remembered the blacksmith was the thing when the game got easy. When the game was difficult, that wasn't really happening. 200 pop for blue. Wow. Okay. You know, you've got this bombard cannon and another bombard cannon. Now Red's like, now let's push the middle. Classic. I'm completely dead on the other side. Now we need to push the middle. Yeah, it's easier because you're like, you have nothing to do over here. So you're just like, oh yeah, I could do that. I don't know if there's enough. As they box down that mining camp. Punch it. They're hitting so fast, so hard, that it's catching this building aflame, even though the building's made of primarily rocks. Just Age of Empires 2 things. Okay. Blue hasn't reacted to this yet. Here come the Eagles. We'll clear up the Ratens and the Skirms. Thanks again to Matt, if you're still out there. Thanks for being here for the game, too. Yeah, it was really kind of you with the dono. And, man, Blue is just such a good player when it comes to production. Very impressed with him. I also think the upgrade thing is an easy thing to fix. You just have to be more mindful of that. It's not necessarily a gameplay thing. Like, with the economy that Blue has, Blue could just get in the habit of getting all upgrades every game without even learning what they really do. Because Blue's economy is always going to be there. There's always resources floating. I think Red could have better economy too, but Red just chose the aggression way, and sometimes when you go aggressive, you're just all in a sense, and Blue did a really good job getting little raids in to distract Red, even though Red had the forward castles. And yeah, Red's going to start to lose these castles now. Just classic low elo though. Red's like, I will not resign. I will not. Treb here. Imp skirms inside the castle. We've got an elephant and a knight, some skirms and some ratens back here. This is like what's left after all their people have been killed. If the enemy had monks, they might choose to switch to the other side, honestly, as like prisoners of war or something. But they don't want to do that, or they can't do that because there's no monks for blue. No relics have been collected. So they're going to just fight to the death, I guess. That's the only other option. If I were one of those guys, would let blue convert me to switch sides and survive. I'm not strong enough, okay? My king wouldn't have treated me well enough to fight for him after we were all destined to die. All right? I'm just telling you where I'd be. Now, blue doesn't really see this. We are getting dangerously close to the point where blue could even get spies, actually. Maybe not. I mean, it's 200 gold per villager. So you could actually look at the spies cost, and that would tell you how many villagers your opponent has. It's going to be a whole lot less here in a second. Villagers and the army I talked about will die here. Silver Surfer, still not wanting to quit. Still has bombard cannons somewhere. Where are they? Oh, there's one of them here. And these bomber cannons are just trying to delay the inevitable and snipe the trebs. We'll potentially get all the trebs, actually. Just because this castle fire here. Go. Oh, it dodged it. Blue wasn't even paying attention, but it dodged the shot. All of this is dying. Sad times. You could say that Red's salty. I don't think that Red is salty. I think that Red is a lower elo player. And at lower elo, players tend to play on till they're almost defeated sometimes. That's what I used to do. I don't think it's fair to look at this and say Red is salty. If Red was like chatting and saying stuff to that, you know, degree, then obviously it'd be different. But I think that we, you know, we being the people who watch content all the time and play the game a bit more, often forget that, like, playing on in these instances, Red doesn't see it as a sign of disrespect towards his opponent. And there he realizes, he calls the GG, which is all the respect I'd want to see from low elo players, and the game ends. What a crazy game. I will see if they chat to each other, because sometimes players will chat to each other, especially after games like that. That game had everything, man. And like I said, you know, for Blue, it was just keeping villagers producing. The KD in the first third of the game, okay, maybe halfway through the game, painful. At that point, it was 105 kills and 33 deaths for Red. Red was all over Blue, but it was the macro, it was the eco, it was the consistency with producing villagers, even though so many villagers were lost, that kept Blue ahead. And I think the key for Blue, there were so many little instances in this game, excuse me as I jump around, where he was trying to raid, like here, oh, I'm going to do some of this. Later on, you had like a couple random units run in to the side. He at one point almost took out Red's TC. One point he did take out Red's TC. Like all those little things while you're getting pushed makes it more difficult for Red to push and to focus and to attack you. So it was a good game. Resource is probably much higher here for Blue. But I think that proves that aggression doesn't always win at low elo. 121,000 resources collected versus 65,000. I didn't realize it was that crazy. Oh my goodness. Did Blue ever get Loom? Nope. Blue never got Loom. The entire game. So, Blue, research Blacksmith upgrades and get Loom. You'll probably shoot up like 100 or 150 elo. That said, we also don't know that because this was a 2TC start. So, it's possible that because Blue is better at spamming villagers all the time, that it gave Blue an advantage with the 2TC start. Where maybe like Red's aggression comes so much faster in a standard start, you know? Yeah, no Loom. Missed some text, but didn't matter. Red still with the positive KD. Blue, though, with the army high and the non-stop economy approach. It was a good game. That's how fast the players were. I gotta love how Red's fastest moment, according to Capture Age, was right before Red resigned. I wonder what that was. Maybe clicking some imp skirms around. You always have to take these little stats with a grain of salt. It's effective APM. Sometimes if you're spamming certain buttons, it can jump this number up, but it's still funny to look at. The military APM is also pretty fascinating because it felt like Blue had more army to move around. I think maybe Red was just active with the army that was there. But a good game. I hope people on YouTube enjoyed this later on. Let me know your thoughts. In my opinion, if you were to combine these two players, if they were to become one, they would be 800, 850, maybe even more than that elo. Great upgrades and aggression from Red. Good eco from Blue behind it. I mean, that would be, I think, maybe even 1,000 elo. Because Red was on top of it with upgrades. The Blacksmith upgrades, Thumb Ring, Ballistics, and also like making tons of archer units too was impressive. Even like Chadras coming in, the unique tech for the elephants when there were elephants out. So yeah, you combine those two players, they're very different. But yeah, I hope people enjoyed that. Obviously, this is a nice little break and filler action. Well, not filler action, but, you know, back to my normal routine with my content. Normally, I want to have some expert play, some low elo legends, and then community games mixed in. So happy to get a good game. At least for us on the stream here, it was starting it all off with action. Sometimes we have to cast a few games before we get one that good. GG. He was mashing the keyboard out of anger. I don't think so. But yeah, I wanted to see, did they say anything to each other after that? You'd be surprised how many epic games there are where there's just no chat. Nope, nothing. Nope, okay. Well, there was GG from Silver Surfer. The guy who won didn't even respond. He didn't even say GG back. So he just left, went to go play a new game, and not research Loom. By the way, guys, people have been asking me recently on if I have merch, and I don't really promote it much because I don't want to be too crazy. But I do have some, so if you're interested in that type of thing, you can always check it out here on the extension below the YouTube video, or just in one of the links below.